Today's lesson, instead of adding and subtracting fractions, we're going to start multiplying and dividing. And guess what? There's good news. You don't have to find a common denominator anymore. Yay! So, in today's lesson, you get to either multiply straight across your numerators and denominators, or with the dividing of the fractions, we're going to do keep it, change it, flip it. Do you remember what that means? When multiplying two fractions together, you no longer have to get a common denominator. All you have to do is you get to multiply straight across. We get to multiply our two numerators together, and then multiply the two denominators together, and then we'll simplify the fraction. So 7 times 3 is 21. 9 times 5 is 45. So we have that fraction that we need to now simplify. So let's think about what number can we divide both of those numbers by, 21 and 45. We can divide them both by 3. So 21 divided by 3 and 45 divided by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 45 divided by 3 is 15. So 7 over 15 is our final answer. But now, instead of moving on to the next example, I want to show you one quick, another way that we could solve this problem called cross simplification. So what we just did is we multiplied straight across, and then at the end we simplified. There's a way that you can simplify before. If you look at your diagonals, can you simplify 3 over 9? And you can. We can't simplify 7 and 5, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite 7 and 5 where they're at. They stay because they can't simplify. But 3 over 9 simplifies to 1/3. So if you simplify first like that, now if you multiply straight across, 7 times 1 is 7, and 3 times 5 is 15. So because we simplified first, when you multiply, it's already in simplified form. In this example, we have 3/4 of 20. This really just means 3/4 times 20. But when you multiply a fraction by an integer, we always want to write the integer as a fraction, so we can write it over 1. So we can do 3 times 20, which is 60, and 4 times 1, which is 4. And then 60 divided by 4 is 15. We could have also done the cross simplification. So as you can see, you can simplify that 20 over 4 to 5 over 1. So it would look like this. 20 divided by 4 is 5 over 1. And now if you multiply, 3 times 5 is 15. So either way, you get the same answer. When multiplying mixed numbers together, we have to first change them to improper fractions. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10, so this is 10/3, times 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2 is 27, so 27/5. If we multiply straight across, we would have 270 over 15. And then we would have to simplify that fraction. But let's try that cross simplification again. Here, 27 divided by 3 is 9, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. And 27 divided by 3 is 9, and then 2 times 9 is 18. And then back up to this fraction, 270 over 15. If you divide those, you also get 18. Here's the last example for multiplying two fractions before we get into dividing two fractions. And here we once again have mixed numbers, so let's change them to improper. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12, so 12 fifths, and we're multiplying by, when you have a negative mixed number, keep it negative, but don't worry about the negative when you change it to improper. You want to look at just 3 and 1/4. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, so it's negative 13 fourths. And now we can multiply across, or we can look to cross simplify. As you can see, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So if we cross simplify before multiplying across, we have, so negative 13 over 5 stays the same, but 12 divided by 4 is 3. And the cross simplifying is just a way to make our numbers smaller. You don't have to do it this way. But we have 3 times negative 13 is negative 39, and then 5 times 1. So now we just have to simplify that. And 39 you can't divide by 5, so we're going to create a mixed number. 5 goes into 39 7 times with 4 left over. And it's negative, so our final answer is still negative. Okay, we completed 4 problems where we were multiplying fractions, and now we want to divide fractions. And this is where we keep it, change it, flip it. To divide fractions, you keep the original one, the first one, 1/4, but now we're going to change it to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction. This is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So now we're back to multiplying fractions. 1 times 5 is 5, 4 times 2 is 8, and that's simplified. So there we go. Keep it, change it, and flip it. And then you just multiply and simplify. Now in this one we have an integer and a fraction, and whenever you have that integer you can write that as a fraction just over 1, 10 over 1. So we're going to keep the 10, we're going to change division to multiplication, and then flip our second fraction. So it's now 8 over 1, and 10 times 8 is 80, and 80 over 1 is just going to still be 80. So pretty easy. When we are dividing mixed numbers, just like when we're multiplying, we need to first change them to improper fractions. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12, so 12 over 5. Let's keep it as division for right now. Change it to improper, so 1 times 8 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so 9/8. And now we can do the keep it, change it, flip it. Let's keep the 12 over 5. Change it to multiplication. So keep it, change it, and now flip it so it's 8 over 9. And now we can multiply across. 12 times 8 is 96, and then 5 times 9 is 45. Well, let's change this to a mixed number. 45 goes into 96 twice, with 6 left over, so 2 and 6/45. But that can be simplified because you can divide them both by 3. So we have 2, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3, 45 divided by 3 is 15. So 2 and 2/15 is our answer. Here is our last example, dividing 2 fractions. Keep it, change it, flip it. Keep it to 3/25. So we keep it, change it to multiplication, and then flip it. So instead of 1 over 5, it's 5 over 1. And then in this case, why don't we try cross simplifying? And once again, you can do either way. If you like to just multiply straight across every time, you can do that. But if you like to try to cross simplify, 5 over 25, so let's see, negative 3 and 1 stay where they are. But 5 over 25 reduces to 1/5. So now if you multiply that together, we would have -3/5. And that is the same, let's go back to double check. If you multiply straight across, you would have -15 over 25 times 1 is 25. And then after you simplify, you divide them both by 5 to get -3/5. So you get to choose whichever way you like. So that is the full video on multiplying and dividing fractions. Should be a good review, and I hope the lesson is very easy. Good luck.